What's good? Welcome to the Wresthings podcast, fam. What can we call this? So obviously the other room is not officially now known as MSG. Yeah. The Madison Square Gardens is obviously next door, but Madison Garden has been booked up by another podcast, innit?
Another company came through.
Another promotion came through and sold it out. Do you get me? Sold out in quick succession, fam. 2 minutes. So we've been given, opportunity to come to the Hoover Dome and make it ours, innit?
I said Hoover Dome.
The Hoover Dome. Where is that even? I mean, is that like somewhere like, where is that? I just check what that is. Is that in like Sacramento or something?
I was gonna say like Sears Center or something.
Or Staples Center or something like that. I can't lie, there's bare space here, fam. You can actually wrestle whilst doing a podcast, fam.
You know what I mean? What should we say this is then? Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome, yes,
Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. Because look how wide it is, fam.
You young colonel, bro.
Trust me, fam. But yeah, man, obviously,
Free Del Boy.
Yeah, Free Del Boy, fam.
Locked up for a couple of weeks.
So we've got two special guests replacing him today. Bro, introduce yourself.
Yeah, you know me as Jamie. Yeah, you can catch me on socials, Jamie Raykes, all that stuff. Internet wrestling community champion. That's what they call me.
Cool.
Lucha V. It's the good time to be me for Halloween. That's the time I don't get stopped by feds. It's good. It's cool. I say it's a costume. You get me? Lucha V in the building. Hope everyone's good.
I can't lie. I'm gonna have to rename you, but I'm gonna have to rechristen you, fam.
Why?
I'm gonna call you Mr. Sheg from now on, fam.
Mr. Sheg. Yeah, because I got fucking shagged, bro.
What you saying, bro?
Yo,
come through, man.
Man, like day one oos.
Supine, yeah.
Day one ish.
Yes, fam. What you saying,
okay.
fam?
That's what I like Supine.
Yeah, grab a seat, man. Grab a seat. Let's talk wrestlings, man.
So who we got in the building?
So what,
Mr. Sheg?
Mr. Sheg from now on. Okay.
So you man saw it?
No, you know it's oh shit! I didn't put the episode out. I put the episode out right now.
You know what? Yeah, you put that out. Yeah. So you're gonna get exclusive. Fucking.
Cool. Talk us through what happened, fam.
Listen, man got shagged, bruv. I got shagged differently, fam. I'm getting piano covers of songs, with these long build-ups. Fam, it hurts. I don't even want to talk about it. I got shagged.
You know what it is, yeah?
I got shagged
you see the thing with whose song is it sometimes? It's like, it annoys me because it's like, the songs that I want to come up for certain people, they don't come up. So I'll put these hard songs, like, for example, I'll put a song like, say Tatanka or something.
Yeah,
I know man don't know Tatanka,
Yeah.
So he hears it and he's like, oh shit, I don't know. And after, when it comes to stuff like Versi, I want to give Versi the easy ones, you get me? Because Versi has to represent for wrestling, you get me? And Versi gets the hard one, fam.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you get what I mean, fam? But I can't lie, I think the person that's got the hardest so far, was probably...
other than me.
Huh?
Other than me.
I think it was Blacks, Yeah. And Black's got some hard ones still.
Damn. Old school wrestlers.
Yeah. Got some hard ones.
Alright, well, Mr. Shag might have to
Trust
be.
me, that's your name, fam. That's your name, fam.
Third name.
But yeah, as you know, VHS Pappy merchandise is coming very soon. The man has seen it. They've approved it.
Yo,
so
when I say
it comes out,
when I say
it looking buy it, fam. Get me.
When I say thing looking fresh, you don't step in and it's just
bro. You got to buy it, fam. You get me, fam. You got to go buy it, fam.
Grab that.
Man spent time on Photoshop. You get me?
Come on, you get me, man. Doing
trust me, fam.
Color correction of them thing there, you know.
You get me? But yeah, when it comes out, go and buy it. Obviously, Lucha V's one's coming out very soon.
Straight.
But yeah, man.
And if you take pictures, and we'll definitely tweet on the account, like anywhere.
100.
We tweet that straight up. Who we got in the corner?
I'm Supine Smokey. I'm basically a content creator like yourself. I've got a YouTube channel where I basically make
plug that, bro.
Plug it, man.
It's the Supine Smokey. You can find it. It's the Supine Smokey. So you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. I basically started out making the brother over in the States, BDJW, BDJ 1989 or whatever is this number is these days. He makes moveset videos of everyone's moveset. So I basically got started doing that myself. I just I noticed at the time, it was like 2016, people would make Roman Reigns moveset, but no one had actually sort of done it in detail. So I saw an opportunity to just do it, and I enjoyed the process. The video went viral, and I sort of got stuck into making it sort of long term. Because everyone loves to plug. He only does 5 moves. And I find that very interesting. Everyone does that because I'm thinking if you watch his matches enough to know that he does more.
Yeah.
Or he has done more at certain times, you know.
Yeah.
But you know how WWE's they get you stuck into the sort of the Hogan style.
The emphasis on those 5 signature moves.
Those 5 signature moves, so you know it,
Yeah.
so you form an attachment to it, so you're more engaged into the match. So they tend to book the matches that way. But I just saw the opportunity to do there, and then from there I just sort of went going on deeper. I started going into it much deeper. I started branching out, doing TNA wrestlers, doing New Japan wrestlers as well. But kind of like yourselves, I feel like there's more for me to do besides that, because a lot of people were doing that on the platform, and naturally, you know, there's only so much you could get away with because of copyright tends to be an issue. A lot of people have stopped doing it because of copyright. And this platform you guys have here with brothers like ourselves discussing wrestling, discussing video games, everything about the culture of being of pro wrestling is great, and I want to tap into that as myself.
Fam, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Respect the hat as well.
Oh yeah.
Yes, fam. Till day one ish.
As you know, this is obviously that room over there that we normally in Madison Square Gardens. This is the Tokyo
Dome, fam.
You're welcome.
Oh yes.
And obviously when the merch comes out, I'll hook you up with the merch as well.
Cool, that's what's up, man.
Fam, man. My brothers gotta eat, fam. You get me?
Man, I gotta eat.
Yeah,
for the
how long
belly.
you been doing it for
me?
them?
Last 3 years.
Last 3 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know what? Yeah. Did you see? You used to play the SmackDown vs Raw games, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you remember like when they would do the unnamed sets, like
Move
when
sets.
the move sets, and you had to
yeah.
kind of guess who it was.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
that was
did
sick.
you
Yeah,
start it
yeah.
from them times, or was you like in it from before then?
No, do you know what it was random. Your man was in how it all started. How the love of it came was I was living in Nigeria at the time with my parents. Yeah, my parents. His mom sent me over there. It's kind of mad. Yeah, I'm on Niger. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so man just randomly walked into a restaurant with a boy out with a bedroom, and I noticed he was playing SmackDown. When SmackDown 2 it was, or Just Bring It.
Just Bring It. Yeah.
And he was in the moveset, and I'd never ever played a game and delved into the creator moveset. So then,
That's my favorite part, fam.
Huh?
My favorite part is making the move set.
That is not my thing. So now
to the basic strikes, everything.
yeah.
I go in.
Even when you make a creative person, you picking the punches.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I picked
everything.
Maybe they could do the stances and that.
I loved it. So that was the first time, and ever since I think that's the mode I spend the most time in. I could spend 30, 40 minutes, an hour in there. You won't even know time has gone.
That's crazy.
It's mad, and it's the same even now with the modern games when you're tweaking wrestlers' movesets. When you want their movesets to stand out, you want their movesets to sort of mirror what they would do in the ring, even if they're gonna do stuff that they don't normally do.
Jeez.
Yo,
Big Blacks.
So there's another.
Jeez, we're in the Tokyo Dome, bro.
Yeah,
In the Tokyo Dome. This is what it's called, fam.
Come and take a seat, fam.
Yeah.
So what you saying, bro?
So it's like that. So it was more of like, it was just seeing there's so much fun because you know sometimes if you're only watching a match or you only watch Raw matches, you don't get to see everything a wrestler could do or their mindset and or what they're trying to communicate with their moveset. But sometimes you do in a sense because you know Roman Reigns once had a T-shirt that said hit hard and hit often. So in that sense, in that sense, spamming Superman punches make sense because you can hit them hard, you can hit as hard as you can, and you can do it often. So it's kind of like that. But if you watch a lot of wrestlers, they have tendencies to do certain things, and there's certain aspects of maybe their backgrounds that tend to shine. Like I remember this one time I was listening to the Stone Cold podcast. John Morrison was on there, and he mentioned that he did some amateur wrestling in high school. But if you don't, the tendency is with him, the tendency is to focus on all the flips and all the tricks he does. But if you actually watches his matches, because I just did a video of him just this week of his moveset, he does a lot of trips. He favors the single leg pick. Like he'll go for your leg and then he'll trip you up. He loves doing that, and he loves the double. He loves the double leg takedown. Yeah, the takedown. Yeah, he favors those takedowns. But people have, because you watch matches, people have signature everything. If it's takedowns, if it's strikes, they've got them all. All of them, they have all. And sometimes those are the little things that we miss because the tendency is to focus on just the big moves.
I agree with you. Sorry, let's cut you on.
No,
I agree with you because like even like that's what I like about wrestling is when you see the small details what they do because the style nowadays everyone's doing flips and stuff which I don't mind, but back in even when Drew first came to WWE he used to use the ring as a weapon. So he'll be using the ropes and so many things that people do when you find out, like as you said, their mindset of like what makes them you know what I'm saying. So I would love to see that style come back, and the fact that you're highlighting that is sick.
Yes, because the same what I did with my Bobby Lashley video, watching his early days. I don't know why I noticed, maybe because he was so a big dude, and just to see him move as fluid as he was, the focus was there. But I didn't really appreciate how much how much of his amateur stuff he sort of leaned into when he first came, like the backdrops, like the ordinary, just doing a back body drop. He would sometimes he would do the duck under, he would duck and he would bend his knees and he'd almost like a duck walk and then lift the guy up. If you noticed, if you watched Bound for Glory, Ken Shamrock did the same thing when he was wrestling Moose. You know when you hit him with the backdrop, that's an amateur thing.
Okay, so the background.
Yeah.
So the amateur background and obviously the NCAA, all that wrestling.
Yeah, it comes into play.
Yeah, definitely.
They
I think
definitely
Lesnar
use
used a lot
it.
of that in 02 as
Yeah,
well.
and that little thing, that little thing when he was wrestling Roman Reigns with the suit, I think I've always wondered where it was because no one actually has a proper name for it. That thing where you hook the guy's arm and then you flip him over like a backdrop.
Oh, like
You hook the arm and then you flip.
is
over
it like when the
suplex?
It's like a suplex.
No, it's a
I think I know what you're talking about.
It looks like a fireman's carry, but it's not.
But they hold you. Yeah, I think
They
I know
hold
what
the
you're
arm.
talking
Yeah,
about.
I found out what it actually was.
They got that maneuver on SmackDown in the end of games as well.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
it's as the single arm backdrop. I actually found out what it's called. It's the name of the actual
Russian
move
leg
is.
sweeper.
No, it's called an elevator roll. It's an amateur wrestling technique.
I can't even explain. Do you get? Can you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm thinking of
so he gets your
Wasteland
arm,
from
yeah?
Wade
Yeah,
Barrett.
and he ducks and he flips you over.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's
like a hook.
It's a hook, and then they flip you over like you're doing a back body drop. Yeah.
Is it?
So I've always wondered what the actual name was because I wanted to redo my my Bobby Lashley video, and then I found a move where it comes from. It's usually done as a takedown, like on the mat when they're on the mat, both on the mat at the same time, and then a guy's got you sort of like a waist lock. So you hook the elbow, and then you just roll.
Okay.
So it's called an elbow roll. So you see these little things there, how it comes in. It's the same thing with like the T-bone suplex. If you start to watch, you start to see where a lot of the wrestlers,
I love the T-bone.
yeah, they come from, which is cool. Which is
Taz
why,
and Shelton Benjamin should do that.
Benji used to do it a lot.
yeah, no, actually not. Actually, that's not true. He does use the T-bone suplex, but his actual move that JR would call the T-bone was actually an exploder.
Exploder, yes.
It's not a
yes,
T-bone.
exploder,
Yeah.
So was it Taz
It's
then?
not, yeah.
Taz used to do it more.
Yeah,
Taz done a real T-bone.
Shelton did do an actual T-bone. I don't know how many matches
He's done it a few times.
A few times, yeah.
Even
But
JR used to
Judgment Day.
mention T-bone suplex. Shelton Benjamin with a T-bone suplex. The way he would say it,
Yeah.
he used to say it
But
a
it's
few
really an
times,
exploder.
trust me.
It's really an exploder, but
Yeah, it's an exploder. I know what you
Judgment Day against John Morrison, you'll find at the start of the match, he hits him with a T-bone suplex. It's a nasty looking one.
Remember what the T-bone suplex is again?
It's almost.
It's basic. Roman does it a lot. Roman used to do
It's
it a lot
when
in
they get the
2015.
leg.
So no, that's
that
the
one.
exploder.
No, it's exploder.
It's basically what it is
I know what you mean,
you're
I know
standing
what
perpendicular to the guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's
arm
standing
round,
with
innit?
you. No, so you hook them from the groin, and you hold their belly, and then you throw them backwards.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's similar to the exploder.
Is
Then
it?
I
Yeah,
can see why
but
they
the
get mixed up,
difference
but
is yeah,
it's not.
'cause
It's the groin at the knee.
No, that's the exploder. See, this is why.
So instead it's the groin.
So Becky
Yeah.
does it then.
Right.
Becky does
Yeah,
the
she does
exploder.
do it.
Becky,
Yeah.
See something better? Wait.
Do you know what it is? Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna
best
confuse
thing you to do
myself.
here is if you can find it online is Taz. He explains it perfectly. I could probably do a video to explain it perfectly.
Do that, bro. That's content, man.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
but
please.
Taz did a great explanation because the similarities. There's a lot of reasons why the moves get confused because of the similarity of the throw. Sometimes the arch of the throw because Randy Orton at times the way he does the actual throw. His grip he's got an exploder grip with the collar grip because you have a collar grip like a rock bottom. Okay. You have the grip with the shoulder like a rock bottom, but the throw because he throws sometimes backwards instead of straight back like a vertical suplex. The moves look the same, but it's the grip. With the exploder, you grip you overhook the hamstring, right? Whereas and you're facing and you're face to face.
Yeah.
You're face to face, and then you hook the leg, and a lot of the time you're usually going vertical backwards, like a vertical suplex, like the way Charlotte
I
does
thought
it.
Shelton used to like almost vertical, but then turn.
Yeah,
his body.
Exactly. Yeah,
That was the difference. Isn't it?
Yeah, that was his own thing. That was his own move,
thing,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
His own variation
I
of
see
it.
it now.
It's
But
almost
then
like clothesline and lariat. Like,
Yeah.
similar
But then
moves,
obviously
but-
with the T-bone, the opponent's facing sideways.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're
and then
talking
you
about
hook them from the groin, and then you throw them straight sideways. Becky used to do it, and she sometimes still does it. Bexplex. She calls it the Bexplex. The Bexploder is an exploder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. The difference is because of the grips as well. Because of the grip, she has the normal grip on the exploder, but the angle of it, she throws them straight back.
Okay.
Yeah, and Bobby does the same thing, but he's also got his own version of the same thing. But if you was to go on, if you were to look up remember when Roman Reigns had that impromptu brawl with Bray Wyatt in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's just fight. Then he suplexed him. If you look it up, you'll find it.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's some homework I've got to do there, mate.
Trust me,
That's
fam.
sick.
Yeah,
I can't
you've
lie,
actually-
bro. That's sick.
It actually made me see things differently.
The
yeah, and it's the same thing with the Hurricane Run and the Frankenstein.
Yeah. I see.
I know
Everyone's got their own different.
Yeah.
you can
Difference,
tell,
yeah.
you can
Yeah,
tell.
there's an actual because commentators don't even bother to tell the difference these days. They don't
That's
sort
what
of
I
differentiate.
miss.
But
Yeah.
the moves are different. The Hurricane Runner is basically like a small package. It's basically just a head scissors transitioned into a double leg cradle.
Yeah.
It's a pinning combo. The runner's supposed to be mean pin, even though it's like Spanish for frog because the pin looks like a frog. But that was the idea. And the Frankenstein is just a guy jumping straight up like a drop kick, performing the head scissors and spiking you on your head. But obviously you don't see a lot of people do that no more. No one, because I think it's not safe.
Yeah.
But it's a bit mad though. You see people doing the reverse version,
Course, yeah.
but they don't do the
Poison
original
runner,
version.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
analyzer, fam. I
Honestly,
love it.
fam.
I
Wow,
love
big
it.
you up, fam. Honestly,
That's
man.
it. Respect, man.
Big you up, man.
I rate that still.
Well, a lot's happened this week, as you see. First, let's talk about the first thing first. Yo, how did you feel when you woke up at? Okay, obviously, I woke up on my birthday.
Oh, for me.
No, all of you lot, fam. Because, fam, I woke up on my birthday, yeah. Phone was pinging off. I was like, what's going on in the wrestling scoot chat? I thought something happened, didn't it? Like something in wrestling happened. Obviously, something in wrestling did happen. So I checked it, and bro, I see a video from Sam, bro. I look in it. I thought it was gonna be like a sex tape or something. You know, because when you filmed it, yeah, man filmed the wall first. So I'm thinking,
I'm trying to say something naughty.
you got me? I was like, yo, relax. So I clicked on it, yeah. Yeah, bro. I clicked on it, and I see a
Four brothers on NWA, fam.
That was
Come
a
on,
madness.
fam.
I couldn't believe it.
That was a man.
Yo,
Yeah,
Fam.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's nuts, fam.
It's
crazy.
mad, bro. Like, man had me talking, like me in a bally, bro,
Yeah,
talking about
you
NWA. And
bet.
I was
It's
saying it
nuts,
off camera to these guys from before anyway. When I was telling blacks about, yo, you watch NWA, it's sick because you know there's so much variation of wrestling now.
But you can see they're actually doing proper real wrestling.
Exactly.
Like,
This is
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah.
This is like this is
Fucking
wrestling,
love it, bruv.
like
That's why I fucking
southern
love it. I can't
wrestling,
lie.
like 80s, where people are just like promos off the cuff.
Exactly. No entrance.
Raw
music.
passion, yeah, like
Straight
it's
to the
stripped
point.
back, and I like that because it stands out at a time where everyone's doing flips and ranas and
Trust.
being 450s and topes and dives and shit. And there's a man just talking about, I'm gonna fuck you up, like not that, but I'm gonna just see you in
Yeah,
the
I'm
ring.
gonna beat you.
I'm holding
it's not like
the
they
richest
swear
prize,
they're
the
gonna fuck
NWA
you up.
championship. Like
Yeah.
that's 70 years deep. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That's the
So to
oldest
have that,
belt,
and what's so
basically.
cool is the time now where, you know, it's a social era where people are finding wrestling, a big wrestling boom. So there's kids like me, I didn't watch the original NWA. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's-
I've
yeah.
known about it. I've
Yeah,
seen matches.
but-
I've seen the
yeah.
Sting and Ric Flair and all that stuff. But to actually see it rebirthed in a way that I can
Appreciate it,
appreciate
yeah.
on weekly YouTube and that's cold, bro. So I've been loving it. And the fact, again, like, we all found out at the same time because Blacks just sent the video. And I was like, swear down. That's
Oh, I
It's
was
nuts,
in
fam.
shock.
I couldn't believe it.
I think
big
I woke up.
NWA, you know.
I woke up
Trust me,
what
fam.
6:30 in the morning because I got work for 9. I got to get to work for 9, so I just watched my wrestling for like
Yeah.
2 hours at least. I'm just watching NWA Power. I'm looking through everyone's podcast. I'm thinking, I swear you mentioned something about NWA Power, but in my head I'm thinking it's never
it's a
gonna
long
pop
shot,
up,
yeah.
like. Next minute, boom, we're there. I was like, I said, what? My head,
Mad.
I was sweating for a minute. I had to just record it and just show the man them. Like I was in awe. I was thinking, NWA, you know,
It's big,
it's
bro.
insane.
Like,
that's
that's-
insane.
Even it's mad. Like,
No.
so is that your
Is that
phone?
yours or mine?
Nah, it's not
Someone
mine.
else.
That's mine.
That's my ringtone as well, but that's not me still.
What's it?
Stop
Even
ringtone. Like,
that's right, bro.
it's good, bro. It's
Even
all
what's
right.
mad was that flipping. I feel like they're showing love to a lot of people, and it's proper nice, especially wrestling fans. Like the guy,
Yeah.
one of the writers, David Lagana. I don't know if
Oh, shout
Lagana.
out to David Lagana. David Lagana. He was in WWE. He was in TNA.
Yeah, TNA,
Now
yeah,
he's
he
the
was.
producer.
Yeah,
Big up Billy Corgan as well.
Yeah.
Like fucking.
I had a
is
chat.
sick.
I spoke to him through DMs on Instagram, innit?
Yeah,
And
we
he
saw.
was, he was saying some stuff, man. Top secret though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
obviously we'll discuss after the group chat. I mean, after the
podcast,
podcast,
keep
man, yeah,
that
but
on the low.
yeah, man,
But
it's nuts.
big love though.
Even the commentary team, Cornet's my guy. I'm sorry, I like Cornet. He's just straight to the point.
He fits it well because he was in MLW, and I liked him there because commentators like him and Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, like those are the old rich play-by-play where they really get into it. Like
Exactly.
I love that. So it gives it a kind of, I don't want to say old school feel, but it gives it a veteran feel.
Yeah.
Where like there's a seasoned person who, and it's kind of cool to hear people like someone
You
like
need that veteran.
yeah,
You
to
need
hear
that
them
voice.
comment, like provide commentary. This some people grew up listening to them
Exactly.
when they were younger, and now their matches are being called by the same people.
by the same people.
And
It's a blessing.
the whole thing is sick. I love the studio audience. I love how there's even people that's like it tests the wrestlers because people are getting heckled and you have to find out what to do.
Definitely.
You know, Aaron Stevens,
Oh yeah,
Damon
my guy.
Sandow.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
were calling him Captain Morgan because he was dressed up as a pirate. You have to work with it. You know what I'm saying? If that was nowadays, I'm not trying to like talk bad on wrestlers now, but they've been trained through that. They would be startled if that happened on WWE. You know what I'm saying? Only people like Samoa Joes and David and Daniel Bryan's, they've come through that. Where you're wrestling for like 20 people and you got to keep them entertained. So I like that it's giving people a new breeding ground to wrestle in a way that like no gimmicks, like not gimmicks, no bells and whistles. It's just wrestling and a mic.
That's
There's
just straight to the
two
point.
cameras.
It's just
Straight
straight to the point. Straight to
No
the
entrance
point.
music, no explosion,
What?
nothing.
No entrances.
No entrances.
Come out right.
They just walk out and do their job. Like
And-
Trevor Murdoch this week.
Cold.
I've always liked him, but I never took notice.
You never
of
deeped him like
when it was
that.
in WWE with Lance Cade. All right, they became tag team champions. I thought, cool, like they're tough men. But then they just disappeared out the map. Next minute, I'm seeing Trevor Murdoch. I was like, swear.
He did do a little stint in TNA for a bit. But
For a bit, but it kind of faded off. You know what I mean? And then he's just come back now, and he's just doing his thing, and it's
Deep
just
in
like, raw. Do
Josephus.
you know what I mean? And then
Straight Hoss match, like
exactly,
just-
Mr. Kennedy.
As
I'm
you said,
seeing
lion,
veterans
like-
back in the ruthless aggression era, and it's kind of like it's giving me that. Okay, I want to watch this. Like I'm actually tuned. I actually watch it now. Like
And
fully.
the key thing with all that is that they can talk.
Yeah.
Anderson can talk.
Yeah.
Murdoch can talk.
Drake.
Drake
Everybody.
can talk.
Nick
Aldis can
Aldis.
talk.
I feel like you have to be able to talk on that show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can't go to
There's nothing to hide
Homicide
behind.
and Kingston. They can
There's a
talk.
standard.
Oh,
bruv.
Eddie Kingston,
they can
there's a
talk,
standard.
bruv.
There's a standard
Come
there
on.
that you have to have when you go into the NWA. Like at this current, even from the beginning, fam, you have to be able to talk, fam.
Yeah, 100.
You know what I mean?
100.
So
And back then, you couldn't be with Ric Flair and that and can't talk, bro.
Exactly,
That man will
fam.
shame you on the mic.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Harley Race, all
Exactly,
these man
fam.
like
you
you
start
can't.
crying, fam.
Exactly.
It's long. It's long.
crying, fam.
And even looking at WWE, look at the biggest stars of this decade.
They
You
still
talk about
can't
they could all talk. If you're
Only one
being
who can
honest.
talk is Cena, man, in my eyes, out of that new.
I mean,
Nah.
but being able to connect with the crowd. Brian, in his own way, did that.
Yeah,
Becky
Brian.
did it.
Yeah, of course. But
Becky
I wouldn't
did
call
it.
Brian a
Check-
WWE original.
Ooh,
Do you
Not
understand?
original, but
Like,
even still, if you're an original, like in general, the decade that's gone,
Yeah.
he was one of the
Okay, yeah,
Talkers,
fair
Yeah,
enough.
the
Samoa
decade
Joe,
that's gone. So,
Kevin Owens.
So
these
if
are
we're talking about the
I trust
decade,
these men on the
we've got
mic.
to say
like-
CM Punk then.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
okay,
no doubt.
fair enough. Yeah,
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 definitely.
those are the men I trust on the mic, regardless, no matter what time.
Yeah, Owens and
Because if you
Owens,
look where we are now. There's like 100 million people that can go in the ring. So many of them, but what separates them?
Yeah.
What
personality.
separates them?
Not even to boy it. Look at Ricochet.
Yeah.
Ricochet can't talk.
That's bapping the mic.
Like Ricochet.
Yeah, not even to boy it, but Ricochet can't talk. But
I need
like,
to hear more.
in between the ropes, he's amazing.
He's amazing,
Like
yeah,
on the
yeah,
mic,
yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
And my thing about that is the era we're in right now, everyone's on top of each other. So it's like everyone can do these dives or trying to do these crazy spots. So someone like Ricochet, who is sick, in a year's time, someone's gonna try to outdo him, and then what do you have? So when everyone has a voice, so you, like if you think about people like Jake the Snake, man never had to shout. I would just get on the mic and just talk.
Trust me.
You would listen. You would listen. I believe.
His stint with Ultimate Warrior, do you remember that? That whole crypt thing that he was doing.
Oh
Fam,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
sick.
yeah. With Undertaker.
And he done it with Undertaker as well.
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah.
sick, fam. You know what I mean?
And again, what was the thing? It was the talking. That's how you sell a match. That's how you get people to care. That's how you get
It's
people
his presence
invested.
as well,
So I believe in NWA. That's a breeding ground to make that happen because they're around in the same environment.
What's
where
that young
it's just-
young cat? Ricky? Is it the young brother?
Ricky
What's
Starks.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky
Yeah.
Starks.
That
Yeah,
promo on
yeah.
episode 2,
He's
that
cheeky.
promo he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, I don't know. There's
Yeah,
something
I like
to
him.
him.
Yeah,
I like
he's
him.
got a
yeah.
bit of,
I
he's
liked
got a
it.
bit of like tenacious with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows what he's saying. Like no
Yeah.
one can really tell him what to do. Like I like it still. Even Mr. Anderson coming back, I like it as well. That tag
Cabana.
match as well.
Is he done with the commentary and boxing then? No, I remember he was doing.
I think he is. I don't think
he's going back to
I
wrestling
think he's
full
going
time
straight
now.
back to wrestling now, which is
Interesting,
sick.
you know, because because they do say 40 is usually where you're supposed to peak as a wrestler, because
as a
that's when
wrestler.
your
brain
clicks,
industry
your
more.
understanding of psychology in the crowd is at its
Exactly,
peak.
yeah.
Even though your body's not the same, your mind is. Because look at Ric Flair was still the man till like 56.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why he was like 56 when he was in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
He did Money
he
in the Bank,
was.
and we
He
still
was.
loved him at that time.
Yeah, of course.
And again, that's the smarter wrestler as well. Like you're thinking longevity,
You know,
because most of these wrestlers now.
R-Truth spoke about that. He
look at
spoke
him.
about stop doing dives, because he could do all them dives too, but he stopped. He realized it.
He's gonna keep wrestling for the next 10 years.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Truth
Because
is
he's
not
got his
that.
body in
his
shape.
50s.
He's not doing nothing. 50, I think
Yeah,
Late
he hasn't
40s,
been-
late 40s.
Yeah, he's 48. Like,
Late 40s.
Come man,
He
he's
hasn't been
not.
a champion yet, has he? Like WWE champion yet?
No,
He's been NWA champion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He might be champion.
First match
He's friends with Vince. So.
Yeah, he has to be a champion before he leaves, man.
No, he's
probably-
good friends.
but
He's
he's
very,
too
he's very,
versatile.
very good friends with Vince.
But
like,
he's too versatile. That always
I
works
know.
against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20-time, 24/7 champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's so versatile.
He won it again today.
that.
Is it? He won it again today. Yeah. Crown Jewel, yeah. He pinned what's it? The brothers, the two twin
Sunil.
brothers.
Sing.
Sing, bro.
Sing.
Sing brothers,
The
yeah.
Sing
He pinned
brothers,
one of them, yeah, yeah.
Talking about brothers, I don't even want to. Actually, no. We'll save it for AEW.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's like fifth in the thing. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
so we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
we'll get to
But
AEW because
what-
I'm astonished. I'm
I
in
definitely
awe.
want people to really take in NWA just
Yes.
because of how it different and how it stands out. Like it's a breath of fresh air. I was saying to Jamie off air as well about how big shout out to MLW as well. What I love about those two things is that it's an hour, power hour,
yeah.
bang it out,
Yeah,
just paps.
it's enough.
The theme
There's
song
enough-
bangs as
It's
well.
enough.
That
Yeah.
is a docking. I
Yeah,
had to
the fire. And yo, please tell me, have you guys been watching them skits, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
in between the matches.
tire irons and fucking
adverts.
They're jokes, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Austin Idol.
Yeah.
Man said kayfabe cocktail, bro. What's he talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. That was a bit sus, but
When I
It was
first
a
watched
bit
it,
sus,
yeah,
but-
when I saw
yeah.
the advert, I thought it was a glitch.
Nah.
I was like, what is
you
this
mean?
from? I was gonna come off it after the wrestling came back, and I was like, oh, okay, it was like that was meant to happen, innit?
But I can drop the, I don't even watching the question mark thing. Man's gonna make my debut. Man was waiting. I was messaging. Get me. Man was messaging Lagana and that.
it.
Will see me on NWA. You get me.
Cool, we'll
fam.
look out for you.
I am the question mark. Fam, so.
You know what's so
Get
mad
me.
there? I think the wrestler which I really like there, is Colt Cabana. I really like the way he's glowing through NWA, and he's gonna become a star. And I slept in him, and the only reason why I got him, he caught my attention was after the CM Punk comments. You know what I mean? That made me realize
what
that.
happened between? Like,
No, when CM Punk was on the little, when he had
Yeah,
his
but
little
why-
bitch fit,
why
he
did
just
they have-
spoke about
why-
Colt Cabana because he was slept in WWE.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? I didn't really.
he should have been as big as Santino was.
Yes. Do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
He came at the wrong time because he was
Yeah.
Scotty Goldman before everything was really popping, and I
Yeah,
feel for him
before they
because if
went
he
that- I
came
think
like
it was the
2-3 years
direction.
after, he would have.
Yeah, he was there when there was still they hadn't gone PG yet.
Yeah,
So
it was
that's
the
probably
ruthless
why.
aggression.
Yeah.
So he's done so well on NW. I feel like he's gonna become a big star. Big star, bro.
Speaking of big star, do not sleep on Eli Drake.
No,
Oh,
Don't sleep on him.
that guy, he's got everything. That guy has everything. And speaking of
Everything in a
guys who talk about not doing flips, he could do moonsaults and stuff, but he doesn't need to do
Doesn't
it.
need to.
He absolutely
And
doesn't
that's
need
gonna
to.
make you stand out.
Out.
Like one thing I know we'll do talk about AEW soon.
Yeah.
But one thing I like, one person I like in AEW is Cody. You know why?
Yes.
Because Cody,
yeah.
like in the midst of all the flips and stuff, he just will ground you down and can do a psychology match, like the
His
match he had with
foundation.
Darby Allin way
Yeah,
back.
he's got them old school wrestling.
The
kind
Old
of
school
foundation.
instincts,
Yeah.
and I like that because in this day and age, like that's what we like when we was watching it. People just grounding him down, trying to get
Exactly.
control of the other person,
Yeah.
not trying to outflip each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro.
I love him. Even he's as a wrestler in sort of technique, he's a jack of all trades. But it's the psychology is where he sort of elevates himself from everybody else. He could have a tire match and not need to do a dive or a flip, and just use it, or maybe just lock in a good old fashioned cross face chicken wing. Because I know he used to love that submission.
I still think that's the match of the year. Him versus his brother. Like.
That match.
Yeah,
That's my favorite match
you
this
know
year.
what?
Yeah,
This
that
year?
was this year, innit?
Yeah.
Wait, number
yeah.
one. Wait,
if not for
Cody
That's
versus
your match of
Dustin.
the
Yeah.
Tell me why.
better than Kofi and Brian.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
just a
Right.
little bit. Just
There was bare emotion in it, and because of the ending as well, how he's like, I need my brother. And like, I nearly cried, like no cap. I swear that I nearly cried. Like, I don't need, I need my older brother. Like, I just felt the whole thing.
Because I love.
And I ain't
that
seen
match.
blood in a long time. I ain't seen
yeah,
blood
I feel
properly in a
you.
long time. They used it well. The whole story, everything coming together. That's one of the best matches I've seen this year. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
It's between them two.
Yeah,
because
obviously the Kofi match is wavy
about
as
both
well.
of them is there was emotional investment.
Yeah, when you have emotional investment, it just takes it to another level.
Exactly. Forget, even though technically they're both, but it's the emotion that was one thing. They are being so invested in the outcome of this match. How is this going to turn out? You know, brothers. You know, us. You know, we go and understand what it is to sort of fight. You know, they're fighting for their legacies. You know, Cody's sort of feeling like he's sort of the outcast. You know, and Dustin feeling like he's been the one to carry Dusty Rhodes' legacy, and then fighting for that right to carry the legacy.
It's good. It's really good.
But yeah, man, as you know, it's been it's obviously like, I don't know. You lot tell me, man. Have you lot been watching WWE recently?
No.
Yeah.
I watched NXT this week. I didn't watch Raw.
I want to get onto NXT though. NXT
NXT
and AEW, that comes in one now, innit? Because that's Wednesday Night Wars.
That's the Wednesday Night War.
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna give an update on that. But Raw and SmackDown, have you lot been watching it recently?
No,
I have.
Ever since Kofi, I'm sour. I'm sour.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm gonna say. Since it happened.
It was.
Yeah, I saw the orders.
The RKO was meant.
It's getting lit, yeah.
That RKO.
The RKO
He has
was
mastered
mental.
it. I'm sorry, he's mastered it. He has absolutely mastered that RKO.
Ricochet showed it like a G. Like he landed on his face.
How'd you land like that?
He landed on his face.
That's the
Like
RVD.
arched as well.
That was
That was nasty.
just went 1, 2, bang.
I won't lie, yeah. As hype as that is, I'm not even trying to be like different for different sake. I've just not been, like you said about since the Kofi thing. I've been not only the sad, but even before the Kofi thing was the thing that broke me. Going all the way back to Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, that was collapse.
From then, all those things combined, and think about the week where the Kofi thing happened. AEW's coming out, NXT's coming out, and then you do that shit to end the rest of the week. I was like, I'm done, bro. I read shit and I watch highlights, but they're not.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I do.
I'm not watching it
That's
live.
what
Man's gonna wake up at
next day I wake
1
up and I
a.m.
see
lose
pictures
sleep
and
to
stuff.
watch some fuckery. That's what I did that night. You know, man, it was 2:50 a.m. fam. I'm tired out my face, and I'm seeing Kofi losing 8 seconds. I fuck this company. I've got so much other choices now. I'm gonna waste my time on that.
Absolutely.
And then how they ruined the Fiend. Oh, that's almost unforgivable, you know. That's almost unforgivable, you know.
Oh yeah, Crown Jewel's on right now.
So, let me just see something before we
check what's happening.
Let me check what just happened, innit? But yeah, WWE. I'll be dead honest. I've not been like up to date WWE.
No, I've been watching it. Like, obviously, the Rusev and Bobby scandal. There's things been going on.
Embarrassing.
It's funny. It's funny. I find it fucking funny.
Embarrassing.
What's mad about that angle is
But
that
you lot need to understand. You see the Attitude Era? It was random like that.
yeah.
That's what you lot need to understand. It was
but
very,
it was
very
random.
random.
But something like this, yeah, it could make sense. You could have worked the backstory with it. You know, if Rusev losing bare matches,
Yeah.
his wife's his manager.
Yeah.
When losing matches means that it's gonna affect their ability to make P. And you know, they always talk about in real life that one of the things that hurts marriages is finances. So if you're losing matches and you're not making P, it can make things go mad. Yeah, I saw that. That's been predicted. He won in it.
And she won, yeah, Natalie.
With the women's match.
Oh, that's Natalia. Yeah, that's
Natalia.
Natalia.
She won.
She won the match.
Look at the garms they're wearing.
That's where that.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Can't show-
When they got to wrestle,
Can't show no cleave, nothing like.
Bro, can I
Banks
tell
and
you
Alexa.
one thing I hate? Yeah, this is gonna sound so mad. One thing I hate the most at wrestling, I hate people wrestling in a t-shirt. It gets me so fucking mad, bro. If you're fat, you're fat. It's calm, bro.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's different because they're in Saudi Arabia, but I have this big pet peeve, fam. In
I had a
TNA,
moment.
fucking remember Sting would always wrestle with a t-shirt. I call it the Steve sleeve.
No, but I think it looks sick though.
it doesn't look sick.
As
It
in,
looks like
with
a
the
dog from
bottoms.
outside the
Okay,
car.
wait, with the bottoms, and he had the top on.
If it's a cut.
Do you know? I thought it was Stone Cold done that. I know Stone Cold done that.
It wasn't really fat when you're wrestling.
He wasn't fat.
Then get different attire.
No, but I think it was.
I
the
hate
thing-
t-shirts wrestling.
think,
I hate
like,
that shit.
no,
I
it
hate.
is.
You cannot change my mind. I hate that.
What about Kevin Owens?
Stone Cold used to look sick.
No, but that's different. It's a tank top though.
Where's Steve
Oh,
Austin?
yeah,
used to
yeah,
look
Like
sick.
Bray Wyatt has the tank top.
Where's Steve
If it's
Austin
an actual
used to look
t-shirt
sick?
that you
Austin
wear,
used to
you're
wrestle
wrestling.
when he-
That's
Yeah,
wrong.
he wore like a t-shirt and he wore like the pants.
316, yeah.
I think it looked sick.
No, that's dead.
But he's so ripped that we don't really care in it. He was in shape, so it didn't really matter.
So he did the Hulk Hogan vesting.
That's different. That's a vest though.
I don't even like that, fam.
It's
It's a tank top.
yeah.
If it's got sleeves, don't wrestle it. That's a t-shirt. That's merch. That's
Yeah, like that. Okay, cool.
You get me?
I mean, as in, I like when they walk into the ring with it. If they're fighting the whole way
No,
with
of
it,
course,
then
I
I'm
don't
like,
mind.
yeah,
You
yeah.
might
Yeah,
ring,
yeah,
rip it
but
off,
back
throw
it off,
full.
like-
But if you're like ding 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 and you got your t-shirt, what the fuck is
Okay,
this?
it makes sense.
You're like Warzone, fam.
Yeah, that starts. You know, you select the stance like.
Chelsea
Yeah,
folk.
yeah,
Yeah, but
Moving for no
Survivor
reason,
Series,
man.
it makes sense though, don't it?
Yeah, no, I don't like Survivor
Oh,
Series.
come
When
on,
everyone's wearing blues, that's football. West Ham versus Arsenal. Like, yeah. I mean, man, you
Don't even mention about Arsenal, please.
Let's go.
Let's talk about Arsenal.
Red versus blue versus yellow. They're gonna do NXT this year apparently, innit?
Invasion, I love it.